nor the biggest quantum misunderstanding. Quantum physics has inspired millions, but it has also been widely misunderstood. One of the most common myths is that simply thinking positive thoughts or visualizing success can directly change physical reality. This belief often points to the famous double-slit experiment as proof that consciousness creates reality. But is that really what science says? In this video, we'll separate scientific facts from popular myths and explore what quantum mechanics actually reveals about consciousness, reality, and our place in the universe. What the double-slit experiment really shows? The double-slit experiment demonstrates that tiny particles behave like waves of possibilities until they interact with a measuring system. This is called quantum superposition. Many people assume that observation means a human mind is watching the particles. In reality, physicists define observation as a physical interaction between particles and measuring devices. The experiment does not prove that your thoughts alone can shape reality. Understanding this distinction is essential to understanding quantum physics correctly. How the manifestation myth began. Over time, motivational speakers and spiritual teachers simplified quantum physics into the idea that thoughts alone create reality. While inspiring, this interpretation ignores the actual science. It transforms a complex physical theory into a promise of personal control. The result is a story that sounds empowering, but misrepresents what quantum mechanics truly describes. Instead of revealing reality, it often feeds unrealistic expectations about the power of the mind. Why the ego loves this story. The manifestation myth survives because it appeals to the human ego. Our brains naturally prefer believing we are separate individuals who can control everything around us. This creates a comforting sense of certainty and power. Psychologists call this a predictive model of the brain, where familiar beliefs are easier to accept than uncomfortable truths. The idea that thoughts control reality fits perfectly into this mental framework, making it emotionally attractive even when scientifically inaccurate. Consciousness beyond the ego. Some physicists, including Eugene Wigner and John Wheeler, explored the possibility that consciousness plays a fundamental role in reality. However, they did not suggest that personal desires magically create the universe. Instead, they proposed that consciousness may be a basic condition of existence itself. This shifts the conversation from, "my mind controls reality," to "consciousness is part of the fabric through which reality unfolds." It is a much deeper and more humbling perspective. The participatory universe. Quantum physics suggests that reality is not completely fixed before interactions occur. Instead of being passive observers, we participate in an unfolding universe. Participation does not mean controlling every outcome. It means recognizing that consciousness and reality are deeply connected. Rather than forcing life to obey our wishes, we become active participants in a larger creative process that extends far beyond the individual ego. Flow, presence, and true intelligence. Modern neuroscience supports this idea through the study of flow states. During flow, the brain reduces self-focused thinking, while creativity and performance naturally increase. Ancient traditions also teach that surrender, presence, and non-resistance allow deeper intelligence to emerge. True transformation happens not by forcing reality, but by becoming fully present. When the ego relaxes, clarity, creativity, and authentic action begin to arise naturally. Stress versus coherence. Believing you must constantly control reality through your thoughts can create anxiety and stress. It keeps the nervous system in a state of hypervigilance, making every negative thought seem dangerous. In contrast, embracing presence and acceptance activates relaxation and coherence within the body. This balanced physiological state supports better decision-making, creativity, emotional resilience, and overall well-being. Real empowerment comes from alignment rather than constant mental effort. Part 9, 1 minute. The real meaning of the observer effect. The observer effect is often misunderstood. It does not mean that personal wishes or intentions magically create reality. Instead, it refers to how interactions determine physical outcomes at the quantum level. From a philosophical perspective, awareness participates in reality simply by existing, not by forcing preferred outcomes. Presence matters more than preference. Awareness itself is the light through which experience unfolds, not a tool for manipulating the universe. The real quantum truth. The greatest lesson of quantum physics is not that you can force reality to obey your thoughts. It is that you are inseparably connected to a living, evolving universe. True power comes from awareness, humility, and participation rather than control. When we let go of the illusion of forcing life, we discover greater coherence, creativity, and peace. The real quantum truth invites us to stop trying to dominate reality and instead become conscious participants in its endless unfolding.